What's up, everybody? So I went to the local game store the other day to pick up a wash, and I saw a paint from a company that's pretty new to the market. They're called Dork. Their Facebook page has only been around since 2018 of August, or August of 2018, I guess is a better way to say that. So really recent. And they make water-based acrylics, and they're based out of the U.S. on the West Coast in LA. So that makes it a bit easier for me to get a hold of it, being in the U.S. Not that paint's that hard to get a hold of nowadays, but being as new of a company as they seem to be and having them on an East Coast shelf just I think shows that it's that much easier. So I was checking them out. Now the store only had like 8 or 9 different colors of theirs. So when I went to their website, I saw they had 30 colors in total. I went to the website when I got home, not when I was there. Uh, so they make water-based acrylics, and they do color shifting paints, and they do metallic colors, which is a very polarizing range to do. They don't do traditional colors. Some people just don't like those things, but I'm on board with that. I like pushing the barrier and seeing what's going on. So I was very intrigued by what I saw. So I purchased 2 colors. I will be buying a third from their site. So what you're looking at are pictures from their storefront. The first 2 are the colors I bought. The third one is the color I want to buy. Or they're water-based acrylics, so it's color shifting and metallic colors. Other companies do this. I'm not saying this is the first I've ever seen it, but to be a company that pretty much only focuses on that thus far is pretty interesting to me. It's a new company, and I think that what they're putting out so far is pretty stout, pretty nice. Now, I haven't painted with this yet, like I think I said already. And there's no sponsorship going on here if that's what you're worried about. I'm just kind of excited to see a new kid on the block, if you will. So, with that said, color shifting paint is when you have a paint, and depending upon how the light hits it and the angle at which you look at it, the color will change from what's base color to be something else, a few different hues typically of something. Traditional color change paint that I first saw ever was on a car. It's a completely different setup because it's not water-based acrylic, but it went from green to purple, which is kind of like the classic color shift. So originally, I think it was called chameleon paint for cars and whatnot. But so it depends on how the light hits it and how you're looking at it based on where the light's hitting and all that. Same concept here. They're thinnable. In fact, what's cool about these paints is on the bottle, it gives you a quick 3 bullet point breakdown of how to use the paint for good results. I like when a paint bottle has directions on it. The Alkali 2 paints do that. The Surface Primer from Vallejo does that. I just like seeing directions on a paint pot. Is it 100% necessary? At the end of the day, no. But especially if you're dealing with something that's not the norm, like a color shift or even a metallic color, it's nice to know how to use it to achieve the results you're looking for. So that's cool. It's $6 for 20 mils of paint, so it's not a bad deal, all things considered. And the paint looks pretty decent. Given the color shift properties, it might have a slight graininess to the paint, but I think that will be done away with thinning it down a bit more or whatever. I don't know. Maybe when they do a second batch or they refine the process throughout time. But it could also just be the picture you're looking at. So I don't know. But it's not anything that bothers me. I think it's just more noticeable, if at all, because there's no other colors on the example pictures that they show you on their storefront. It's just meant to show you that one color. So with that said, their website is a very basic storefront website, and that's not a jab at them. It's fine. Their coloration is interesting for the color shift, a decent amount of color shift styles or colors, I guess. I don't know. And the metallic color range is pretty nice. Their naming structure is not normal, so the 2 paints I bought, as you've been seeing, one is called Dark Net, and the other one is called Ground is Lava. So their paint naming structure is not traditional either. It goes with the whole radical setup. So I have to say, I was really intrigued by Darknet. It's a very dark color shifting paint, and Ground is Lava goes from a red to like a golden yellow, and I thought that was pretty neat. The third color that I will be buying from them is Multipass, and that is a metallic orange. It's not a color shift, it's just a metallic orange. And orange being one of my favorite colors, I wanted to do stuff with orange. I'm trying to find a nice orange that pops, stands out, that is unapologetic about its color. multi-pass looks like it has some real potential there. So was cool to see that on their website. Definitely looking forward to purchasing that. So I haven't used the paint, but what I like about Turbo Dork's setup, and this isn't standard, is that they have 3 pictures total for each paint. So you go to their main site, you click on a paint that interests you, you brought up to like the storefront for that paint specifically, and you see the typical bottle with color swatch behind it. I've never been a fan of color swatches. Every company does it. You kind of have to. It's not that they're bad. It gives you a nice approximation. But color swatches are printed ink from printers or whatever to approximate what the paint could look like when dry. It's not the actual paint dry. And the actual paint dry on a model or on a spoon or anything like that is what you want to see, something like that, because it's the actual paint dry and you have an idea of what it'll look like when you do it. It never really matches the swatch. It can't. So you have that, which is traditional, and then they go ahead and they give you a spoon picture, which is a classic scale model technique to see how the paint looks before applying it. And they also give us a picture of a model. It's an intercessor marine, no big deal, doesn't matter, because it's just there to show you the irregular 3D surface of a model and what the paint looks like when applied to it. Really good for the color shift paints to get an idea of how it color shifts. Even the metallic colors, it just shows you how it looks. Now this paint is glossy, but you can go ahead and cut down the gloss by using a matte or a satin varnish to go ahead and cut down said gloss, which is fine. I think, and I could be mistaken, but I almost feel like the spoon is got a matte varnish. I said varsh on it to show you what it looks like non-glossy, because the model is always glossier looking than the spoon, but it could be just the way the picture is. So I love that it shows you this. Not every company shows you an example of the model or example of something painted up. Some companies make over 100 paints. I get it, but the plastic spoon is a nice cheap way to do that, and it looks fine. It gives you a basic idea. More companies should show you it painted on something and dried, because it looks different from a swatch. It gives you a better representation of what it'll look like when you yourself, the consumer, use it to paint. And it's just, it helps build confidence. And when you have a how to use tab on the web page, as well as pictures of what it looks like dry, it's a good marketing strategy for the buyer to look at it and go, I like that end effect. Here's how I can achieve it. I'm going to go for it. As opposed to looking at a swatch going, I guess it's going to work how I want, because you could take a traditional red paint, you put it over white, you get a very vibrant red, put it over black, you get a very subdued red. It almost looks like 2 different paints, right? So having the how-to is very nice. It's on the bottle very basically, and it's in the website. Very cool to check out. What I really like is that it spells out the best undercoat to use for the desired result that they have for the paint. So for example, for Darknet and Ground is Lava, they recommend a black undercoat, glossy black if you can, to get the best results. For multi-pass, they recommend, I was going to say represent, but they recommend to prime with a white undercoat. So just having that knowledge of how they achieved it means if that's what you like, you can pursue it yourself, achieve it that way, or come close to it, and not have buyers regret for getting something that just you're not capable of replicating, if that makes any sense. So I like that they did that. Pretty cool stuff. Anyways, they're a new company. Chances are, if you're in the States, you may see some of their paints in your hobby store. I thought it was pretty random to see it here in the local hobby store by me. I didn't expect it at all. I like what they got. Some of their metallic colors are really nice and bold and make a good statement. Other companies make them, of course, but being a water-based acrylic, being here in the States, making it easier to get, just gives it a leg up over some other companies. And the price point, I think, is very fair. Their Red Rum is a very nice red. Their Emerald Nightmare is a very nice dark green. They got a lot of really nice colors going on, and I've seen some pictures on the interwebs of it painted up on some models, and the colors look very nice and look actually pretty smooth compared to some of the graininess of some other photos. So that's always a good sign. Anyways, thanks very much for sticking through this random ramble. Something out of nowhere. I didn't expect it. I had to pick up Darknet and Ground is Lava because Ground is Lava was a cool name, a cool color. Darknet, I really want to experiment with. can't wait to pick up multipass and when I get to painting again to really giving that a whirl, because I think that's the orange that I might be looking for. Always on that quest, right, for that perfect coloration that you're looking for. Anyways, have you seen Turbo Dork? Have you given him a shot? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. It's not for everybody. Opinions will vary based on what they're going for, which is color shifting and metallic colors. But I like these options out there. And real quick, color shift paint can work for an armor color. If that's too gaudy for you, it can be an ornate kind of trim thing. It can also be done for weapons. You have a really, you can do like some of these color shifts can almost work for like heat coloration on a barrel, as well as taking a power sword or taking a force weapon, taking some type of magical fantasy weapon and giving its blade the color shift treatment to make it stand out and be different can also work out. Anyways, just some food for thought there. Thanks very much for sticking through this ramble, and until next time, leave any question, comments, or requests in the comment section. Take it easy.